Welcome to Ecotopia U Media. I'm your host, Melissa McGinnis, joined by my co-host, Tom Wright.
Hello.
Because he's always right.
Oh my goodness.
Today we are in chapter 2 of fracking, and we're here to talk about that frack is whack.
Well, the long-awaited final assessment from the California Council on Science and Technology came out on July 9th.
Okay.
And so it basically, the headline in the Los Angeles Times that day was "Water and Wildlife May Be at Risk from Fracking's Toxic Chemical, Panel Finds." So the fracking issue is really much more complex than people have been led to believe. And so there again, through the Los Angeles Times, you can go to the final study on hydraulic fracking, which is 101 pages long. So it is not a short document, but it's a readable document. And
who did the study?
Well, it's an independent scientific assessment of a well simulation in California summary report is the name of the title. An examination of hydraulic fracking and acid simulations in the oil and gas industry. And
who commissioned?
I'm getting there. CCST is a nonprofit organization established in 1988 at the request of the California state government.
So that's so great. There's nonprofit agencies are actually looking after our well-being.
Yes.
Why would we not be testing fracking?
It's a great question. Well, obviously industry feels that the best regulation is zero regulation. And so there's always that force going on.
To me, this is one big science experiment. I mean, if you were to build a little box science experiment, yes, and you're going to shoot into the magma of the Earth, I mean, it's almost like a hypothesis.
Well,
how did he even get clearance?
Well, remember the overarching thing in our economy is that more energy is necessary, and so we have this constantly. We have a society that was born of oil and coal, and now it's found this way to get natural gas out of shale deposits, and we call it fracking or hydraulic fracking. These
shale deposits, give us some insight on the process. And the shale deposits are how far down in the earth, and how old are these deposits?
I haven't been able to get the exact age of them. They have to be at least 5 million years old, but I don't think I know. You asked me that question before, and I haven't been able to find the exact age.
Well, I guess where I'm trying to get to is that they're pretty much not replaceable.
Well,
I mean, maybe in 5 million years.
No, I mean, in terms of human existence, it's a huge number, isn't it? Yeah, so we don't think that way. I mean,
it's almost so precious. Like, not just the shale itself, but in the process in which it's extracted is what is. Well,
this is here among the findings of the report. Okay, this is strong acids and solvents and biocides. Biocide means literally what it sounds like: kill life. In the oil-filled water, present a significant hazard to aquatic species and other wildlife, particularly when released into surface water. All the chemicals in the fracking process are undesirable in drinking water. Point 2, injection wells that the state is allowing to dispose of oil-filled wastewater onto federally protected aquifers may have received water containing fracking fluids. Again, this undesirable stuff in drinking water. Oil operations in federal waters offshores are discharging wastewater directly into the ocean, which is against EPA regulations. More than half of the produced water from fracked wells is disposed of in unlined pits. Quote, "We do not know how long hydraulic fracking chemicals persist in produced water or at what concentrations or how these changes in time, which means that hazardous levels of contaminants cannot be ruled out." Part of what the report's saying is they don't have enough clout to really do the study to the depth they want. About 1/3 of the oil field wastewater pits in the Central Valley are operated without proper permits. Again, this is this idea that best regulation is no regulation.
Almost like the Wild Wild West all over again.
It is the Wild Wild West. Here we are, 2015. And about 1.7 million people in Los Angeles live or work within 1 mile of active oil or gas well. An atmospheric concentration of pollutants near these sites can present health risks to humans. The report recommends an extensive study of residents living near oil production sites. California does not regulate how close to oil operations can be from residences, school, or hospitals. Okay, again, California does not regulate that. I mean, everybody's always saying California overregulates, but you got to be real. Sometimes there just isn't regulation. The report recommends that California adopt a setback requirement. Oil and gas development causes habitat loss and fragmentation in ecological sensitive areas of Kern and Ventura counties.
So they've already shown significant loss with natural habitats?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, again.
So what the next is the human species. Obviously, it's coming into our drinking water.
Well, it's certainly the irony of being in a drought state in which water is considered so precious. Here we're doing something that as part of its natural process contaminates water. I see you have an article up from what is it, February this year, high levels of benzene found in fracking wastewater. What's that article tend to conclude?
This is from the LA Times, and I think it's really just surmising that, in fact, there is benzene found in...
Good, that benzene.
Not just in the wastewater, but also in the aquifers. So we're drinking fracking fluid.
The potential's there, and you know, one of the great ironies about that article about benzene is people are old enough to remember when Perrier, the French bottled water, was recalled in America in the early 90s. It was because of benzene contamination in their drinking water source in France.
I wonder if, I mean, how do we test our own water? I'm concerned. I live here in Long Beach. We know there's fracking going on. I'm concerned that it's in my drinking water.
Well, there is a testing procedure.
Can I get that tested?
I'm sure you can. I'm sure. I mean, you want to search on drinking water tested in Los Angeles County?
This is an interesting quote. Timothy Krantz, a professional of environmental studies at the University of Redlands, said that when he initially saw the levels of benzene in the test results, he thought there was a reporting error because they are just phenomenally high numbers.
We shouldn't be surprised, though, should we?
It's not even funny. I mean, the truth of the matter is that
correct.
We're letting ourselves be guinea pigs.
Being part of the experiment. I agree.
And let's talk about that. We think benzene, we make a joke of it. It's a chemical.
No, it's in fact, if you put a match next to it, it would create a flame.
It probably causes cancer, birth defects, infertility. What else?
And anyway, I would doubt it tastes good.
So I think this is something that we need to, I think, understand on a localized level what's happening in our communities. I know we have an anti-fracking community here in Long Beach, but what else can we do? What more can we do? I mean, I think educate ourselves, certainly.
I think to read this study on hydraulic fracturing from this organization that the state engaged to do an assessment, and I was kind of flipped through here to page 38 because it talks about the habitat loss, but you can actually go through the page, you can get the electronic document and go through all the pages and actually see where they got all their information from. I think the fancy word here is transparency. And it's significant to the population that they should ask why isn't this process completely transparent? Why doesn't somebody who's extracting stuff that potentially contaminates drinking water, why isn't there complete transparency of whether or not that's really occurring?
It reminds me of the non-GMO transparency conversation in terms of we have a right to know.
I think so.
So if my water is contaminated, I should get a notice from the water company monthly about the levels of benzene in your water is at this level, you know.
And therefore, you could research it on your own. I get what you're saying right away.
Well, I'm going to do a private testing in the water and just see what's happening. I want to know what I'm drinking.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's revisit this for Fracking Chapter 3.
Chapter 3, 4, and extended, yes.
Well, more to come on Frack is Whack with Melissa and Tom here at Ecotopia U Media.
Thank you.